Hallo und herzlich willkommen. In der letzten Folge, da haben wir die Quest abgeschlossen. Und ja, jetzt möchte ich endlich mal die Birthright Quest anfangen und beenden. Oh, nicht schon wieder. Egal.
Let's make this quick.
Warum? Chapter 1. History of Kirkwall. Chapter 1. It's difficult for many to comprehend today. But there was a time when Kirkwall was believed to be the very edge of the world. It was Emerius then, named after its founder Magister Emerius Cravan. And it was but not one outpost on the very fringe of the Tevinter Imperium. There the Magister serfs worked the quarries for the yetstone needed for the mighty temples of Minrathous. After a slave rebellion nearly burned the temple to the ground in the great city, it was determined that a center for the slave trade would need to be established, well away from the more civilized parts of the Imperium. Though this account may be exaggerated, since the ich kann nicht lesen. Since the notorious Archon Venerius Isar narrowly escaped assassination at the hands of an elven slave at the time. Because the new slave outpost would become wealthy beyond imagining, competition among prospects reportedly took over 20 years to resolve, resulting in great bloodshed in the frontier well away from the Archon's eyes. Magisters took arms against Magister, mostly in form of small armies of serf and mercenaries. Over half the slaves in existence allegedly died in these battles before Emerius was finally chosen, thanks to the marriage of Craven's son to the Archon's daughter. Within the mere decade, the mighty fortress was erected on the cliffs where Kirkwall now stands. Over 1 million slaves passed through its gates before the Imperium eventually fell. An unimaginable number by today's standards. The Cravan family itself became patrons of the next 3 Archons and was one of the driving forces behind the extension of the Imperial Highway into the Ferelden Valley. A move that would cost them considerable political influence after the resistance of the Alamari tribes. During its height, Emerius was a jewel to rival the mightiest of the imperial cities and the greatest center of civilization outside Tevinter. From Kirkwall, the city of chains by Brother Janiti, once again 924. Dragon. Ich glaube, Dragon Age Origins spielt in 919? 9-8? 9-8. Oh Gott, ich weiß es nicht mehr. Wann spielt... In welchem Jahr spielt Dragon Age Origins? Also wenn das 9... Dann muss das ja... Ich meine, verfasst wurde das 9-8. Ich habe schon gar nicht... Ich weiß nicht. Moment. And so is the Golden City blackened. Ja, aber das ist ein... Ist das? Ich bin schon ganz durcheinander, sorry. The Amell family. It's truly sad what happened to the Amells, isn't it? I still remember grandmother talking about the balls that Lord Aristide used to hold at the estate and the Antivian violin players and dancers from Fasana. No expense was spared and no one would dare miss it, lest someone think they weren't worthy of an invitation. And then poor Rivka had the child, magical talent, running in one of the Kirkwood's most prominent families. The Templars had considered Lord Aristide to be Viscount after Threnhold's arrest. Can you imagine the scandal had he been chosen? They whisked the child away to the circle. And the Amells simply had no luck after that. Leandra ran off with a Ferelden mage, and then Damon was accused of smuggling. Poor Lord Forsten, almost bankrupt, his family trying to get the charges dropped. But I hear Viscount Mallow simply wanted the Amells out of the picture. And it worked too, didn't it? By the time Lord Forsten got sick, there was only young Gamlen left and a mountain of debt. I spoke to Dulcie just the other day, and apparently Gamlen is now living in some low-town shack. Sounds like the sort of character you'd cross a street to avoid. And let's not even talk about the estate. Mother says we should remember the Amells because that sort of thing could happen to any of us. You know the old saying, a marcher's fortune rises and falls with the tide. High tide or low, I never let you go. Ja, sorry, Ohrwurm wieder. Sorry, ich habe mit Musik in letzter Zeit sowieso. If you ask me, this is just another misfortune that magic brings to honest folk. Andraste helped the poor family, whatever lies in store for them. Oh my God. By Lady Emile.
Crest. Mother described it, but this is the first time I've seen it. Wouldn't it feel like something to live in a house with this above the door?
Ehrlich gesagt, es ist doch scheißegal, ob du Status hast. Solange du gesund und glücklich bist, wieso brauchst du Reichtum? Reichtum bringt dir nichts außer Sorgen. Und das ist wirklich so, weil wenn du reich bist, dann kannst du dich so verändern, sowas von zum Negativen, du kannst sowas von zu einer schlechten Person werden, weil letztendlich, wenn man dir eine gewisse Menge an Geld gibt, erst dann zeigt sich der wahre Charakter eines Menschen. Es ist einfach so. Ja. Da. Pups mich. So. History of Kirkwood, Chapter 2. As the Imperium's border slowly receded after the devastation of the First Blight and the subsequent barbarian invasion, many outposts in the area known today as the Free Marches were cut off from centers of power. Numerous warlords tried to consolidating the region into a single kingdom, but resistance prevailed. Emerius held out for almost a century until it fell to a slave revolt in 25 AD. It was not the first such revolt Emir suffered, but it was the last. It started when the Almari slave named Radun began earning popularity, and power by pushing for better conditions. Radun's growing influence prevented the magisters from touching him, but eventually they had him poisoned. Furious, a group of random supporters stormed the gallows and were massacred. And so began the bloody year-long rebellion. The city burned and wealthy Hightown was sacked. The magisters hung before cheering crowds, and Marius assumed the new name of Kirkwall, Kirk, meaning black, after its Yetstone cliffs. The new city plunged into Anarchy. What's anarchy? For over a decade, and its defenses fell into ruin. Kirkwall has been conquered many times since. The city's own independence suffering since the freeing of its slaves. The City of Change by Brother Genitiri, once again, 924. Wann war denn Dragon Age Origins? 920? Dann wird das, also wenn 29 Dragon Age Origins stattgefunden hat, dann hat Brother Genitiri das 4 Jahre später geschrieben. Wenn ich das von der Zeit her richtig verstehe. 29, 924, 4 Jahre später. So, wenn nicht, dann weiß ich nicht. Aber, Moment, and so is the golden city blackened. With each step you take in my hall, marvel at perfection, for it is fleeting. You have brought sin to heaven and doom upon all the world. Canticle of Trinities 8:13. 8:13. Oh mein Gott, das ist ja... Okay, oha. Okay. Ja, ich weiß es auswendig.
Here we go.
Mag für andere sich blöd anhören? Canticle of Trinities 8:13. So, du kannst auch ein bisschen schneller gehen, ne? So. Also, History of the Circle. It's a truth universally acknowledged that nothing is more successful at inspiring a person to mischief as being told not to do something. True that. Unfortunately, the chantry of the Divine Age had some trouble with obvious truth. Although it did not outlaw magic, quite the contrary, as the chantry relied upon magic to kindle the internal flame which burns in every brazier in every chantry. It relegated mages to lighting candles and lamps, and perhaps on occasional dusting of rafters and eaves. I will give my readers a moment to contemplate how well such a role satisfied the mages of the time. It surprised absolutely no one when the mages of Varoyo in protest snuffed and scared sacred flame of the cathedral and barricaded themselves inside the choir loft. No one, that is, but divine Ambrosia II, who was outraged and attempted to order an exalted march upon her own cathedral. Even her most devout Templars discouraged that idea. For 21 days, the fires remained unlit, while negotiations were conducted, legend tells us, by shouting back and forth from the loft. The mages went sheerly into exile in a remote fortress outside of the capital, where they would be kept under the watchful eye of the Templars and a council of their own elder magi, outside of normal society and outside of the chantry. The mages would form their own closed society, the circle separated from the first time in human history. From the Fire Circles and Templars, a history of magic in the chantry by Sister Pertine, Chantry Scholar. Oh mein Gott, dieses Gelese. So, da haben wir das ja gleich mal geschafft, ja. Ja.
Everything we want to know about our family is inside.
Und so.
This is it. Grandfather's will. Mother needs to see this as soon as possible.
Okay, let's go.
We'll take it to her right now.
So I'm just saying, blood's blood and all, but you are taking advantage of my hospitality.
Oh Gott, ey.
It's only fair if you make something of a monthly contribution.
You sold my children into servitude. Now you're asking me to pay rent?
Maybe just put something towards food.
We found the will.
He forgave you, Mother. Grandfather left you everything. Here, read it.
I should maybe...
To my daughter Leandra, and all children born of her, the estate in Hightown and all associated revenues. What do you have to say for yourself?
You're the one who ran away, Leandra. What happened to love is so much more important than money.
It is.
Ja, ist es auch. Liebe ist besser als Geld.
The twins were a week old.
We all have our burdens. Mine was looking after a life you abandoned. How long was I supposed to wait?
I doubt you let the ashes get cold.
I took care of Father. I stayed. And on his deathbed, all he could talk about was Leandra. Look, sister, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done it, but I did. And there's nothing I can do to get it back.
I don't expect that, Gamlen. It's enough to know Mother and Father didn't die angry. I'll petition the Viscount for rights to reclaim the estate. Make her willing, you'll have your house back within weeks.
You don't have the coin or standing to even get an audience with the Viscount. You've got to be someone in this city to live in that house again.
Then I had better get started.
Why don't you go pick up something at the market? You could use some air.
What? Hey!
I can't believe Gamlen stole Mother's entire inheritance. I mean, I can believe it. That's the worst part. I could never turn against my own sister like that.
You're a better person than Gamlen could ever be.
Well, hopefully we'll be out of here soon. You know, when we went to look for that will, I thought we were doing it for Mother, for what she lost. I didn't realize how much it would mean to me. To know I had grandparents who didn't hate me.
I wish they had lived long enough to see us come home.
Home. That's what it is, isn't it? I like saying that. We're not running away again. We're coming home.
What do you mean, running away again?
Did you think I don't know? How often we had to move because the Templars were coming. I know how much you all sacrificed to protect me. But we're at the end of the line now. There's nowhere left to run. And there's something almost comforting in that.
Was ist das für eine doofe Frage, ehrlich? Also, eigentlich sind Fragen generell nicht doof, aber die Frage ist doof.
Can you imagine if we'd grown up here? Been nobility? Had grandparents who bought us Orlesian silk dresses with lace petticoats? Father was a good man, but Mother gave up so much for him. Of course, if she hadn't worked up the nerve to elope, she probably wouldn't have been able to resist the Templars either. If we'd been born here, you'd been nothing more to me than a name the Circle kept in my file.
What do you think Carver would have made of all this?
He would have hated this place. All the sneering nobles. He'd have gotten himself arrested the first day. And he would have wanted in on your Deep Roads expedition. Anything to make a name for himself. Sometimes I still can't believe he's gone.
Ich bin eher froh.
Are you unhappy here?
I wish I could do more for Mother. Carver's death. It's killing her slowly every day. But maybe if we can reclaim some of what she lost, it will help. I'd do anything to get us back a normal life.
Are you unhappy here?
I wish I could do more for Mother. Carver's death.
Ach ja, ja.
I'd do anything to get us back a normal life.
We're going to make this our home, Bethany. I promise you.
I hope so, sister. I'm so very tired of running.
Jetzt sage ich schon mal bis zur nächsten Folge. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Tschüss.
I found this when we were at the estate. I thought you should have it.
Is it? I think this is Mother's betrothal portrait from when she was supposed to marry the Comte. Look! You can see the ring.
She was much happier with Father.
I know she loved Father. I guess I just wondered if she'd have been happier if he hadn't been a mage. If I wasn't a mage. I know that made it hard for Mother. It's nice to have a reminder of a time when she still knew how to smile.